Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Front Page on AIM Network, India's definitive media organization and voice on everything AI and technology. Tonight, from the next big move in social to a homegrown app rewriting digital sovereignty, from record-shattering chip funding to the battle for silicon independence. Tonight's stories capture the new front lines of tech. And here are the headlines for tonight. With Sora 2, OpenAI isn't just generating video, it's launching a social app where you create, remix, and cameo yourself directly, challenging Instagram and TikTok. Zoho's Arattai has added over 2 million new users in just days after ministerial endorsements, a 185 times spike in downloads, and the launch of its Android TV app, offering multi-device sync, encrypted calls, and India-hosted servers, giving it a unique edge over WhatsApp in the battle for digital sovereignty. AI chip maker Cerebras closed a record $1.1 billion Series G at an $8.1 billion valuation, claiming its wafer-scale processors deliver 20 times faster inference than Nvidia GPUs, while expanding United States manufacturing and data centers ahead of a long-delayed IPO, signaling that the AI race is no longer just about scale, but who controls the economics of real-time inference. And finally, Meta is acquiring RISC-V startup Rivos, valued at $2 billion to accelerate its in-house silicon efforts, a strategic push to cut billions in dependence on Nvidia GPUs while racing towards superintelligence. Well, India's most quietly ambitious tech company just had its loudest week yet. Arattai, Zoho's homegrown messenger, has exploded from 3,000 to 500,000 daily signups in just 72 hours, rocketing to number one on the App Store, nudging aside WhatsApp and Telegram. Former CEO and current chief scientist Sridhar Vembu recently said this: "We have done some speed improvements to the Arattai app. Please update from Play Store. We are also scaling the infrastructure rapidly and yesterday added over 2 million new users. Thank you all for the outpouring of love." End quote. Interestingly, we at AIM Network, especially the live and the broadcast team, are all using Arattai. I must say, it's actually a smooth experience. And while memes about how to pronounce Arattai flooding on X, well, I could have been one of those, something deeper is happening. Zoho is rewriting the Indian tech playbook, consumer and enterprise, AI and messaging, without a single rupee of venture capital. First came IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav, publicly ditching Foreign Office software for Zoho's suite. Then Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, urging Indians to go Swadeshi and adopt Arattai, calling it free, easy to use, secure and safe. End quote. Within hours, Sridhar Vembu, Zoho's co-founder, tweeted a bold claim: "We are the only company in the world that can take on Microsoft in the breadth and the depth of the product suite." End quote. And the surge proved him right. 180 times spike in downloads, 40 times surge in daily active users, 350,000 plus installs in a single day at peak. All of this was extensively covered first here on Front Page. Well, this isn't political theater. It's actually the clearest signal yet that India's government is ready to back domestic platforms at national scale, from workplace productivity to everyday chat. 20 years ago, Zoho was a single web-based product. Today, It runs a 50 plus app universe, CRM, HR, finance, collaboration, cloud infrastructure, engineered from a rural campus in Tenkasi, Tamil Nadu. No IPO, no VC, just patient compounding. Mani Vembu, now CEO, says that freedom from shareholder pressure is Zoho's ultimate edge. This is what he said. We enjoy our freedom. We can invest 35% of revenue back into research and development and experiment without chasing quarterly targets. End quote. That patience is finally paying off. 1 billion plus dollars in annual revenue, 100 million plus global users, and now the consumer breakthrough that India's previous Made in India hopefuls haiku could never really sustain. Well, don't go anywhere because we have a very special surprise for our viewers today. Back to this week's buzz, which isn't just about, well, a WhatsApp rival. Behind the scenes, Zoho is quietly assembling an AI stack from silicon to software. Zia LLMs trained for business tasks from 1.3B to 7B parameters today with a 100B model on the roadmap. Speech recognition in English and Hindi. A no-code agent studio for enterprises to build AI workflows without sending data to third-party clouds. Mani Vembu explains why Zoho isn't chasing GPT scale, and this is how he does it. We right-size the model to the problem. Smaller, efficient LLMs means lower cost and faster time to value for customers. End quote. It's actually a contrarian bet and a strategic one. Over reliance on foreign clouds has actually already exposed nations to sanction related outages. A fully indigenous AI layer is not just patriotic, it's actually a national security asset. Zoho's secret weapon isn't a flashy Silicon Valley campus, it's a radical talent model. Zoho Schools, training 12th standard graduates into engineers, which now accounts for 15% of the workforce. R&D hubs in Tier 2 and rural India. From Tenkasi to Kottagiri, the first Zoho school graduate now heads the company's Saudi Arabia operations. As Mani puts it, talent exists everywhere. Opportunity does not. We create the ecosystem first and then scale. End quote. This shields Zoho from Valley-style talent wars, giving its engineers the time to work on decade-long bets like building LLMs from scratch. For years, India's startup scene chased fast VC rounds while Zoho very quietly built the plumbing of a global software powerhouse. And now, Arattai proves Indian consumer apps can break WhatsApp's monopoly. Zia proves India can build proprietary AI without renting from the West. Government adoption signals a shift from dependence to digital sovereignty. Arattai's Android TV app, its ad-free model, and Zoho's promise of interoperability like UPI signal a new chapter for India's tech ecosystem. This, well, isn't just a software rivalry. It's actually the blueprint for an Indian-owned AI-ready tech stack. One that could make Zoho the most valuable software company India has ever produced within the next decade. And now, as promised, here is that wonderful surprise. Joining us today is a man who needs, well, no introduction, the CEO of Zoho. Hello, Mani, welcome to Front Page. It's an honor to have you with us on Front Page.
Thank you, Sudhi, and thank you, Amit, for having me here.
Thank you so much for being here with us, sir. How does it feel to be on Front Page?
Yes, it's a lot of responsibilities, so we feel like the game is just getting started because we come from the B2B world where adoption is slow, but here the pace is accelerated. So we are really working closely to make sure that we scale with the demand.
Wonderful. So, Mani, Arattai is actually topping the App Store. Government leaders are openly switching to Zoho, and analysts are calling you, well, the next most valuable software company from India. Just yesterday, you and your team met Union IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. We would really like to know, were there any interesting insights that you can actually share with our viewers from the discussion?
See, it's generally right. Say since the Arattai is taking off, and right, so we are supplying our software to some of the government agencies. So it's a general discussion on like say what is the next steps and how do we get prepared for right, say the surge in volumes. So and just to check whether we are ready for the volumes. And if you look at the say background, say if you see like say the messaging Arattai, what we are seeing, the original tech we started in say around 2005-6 as the messaging. So the Arattai backend, which is the messaging platform, was actually started development in 2005-6, and then we have been, that is the platform that powers entire Zoho ecosystem of apps. Whatever messaging that goes between app applications and right, say all the others have been powered by that messaging, and the same messaging platform is being used by our Click, which is an internal organization wide communication platform. And the same is what we have actually given as Arattai. And that's why we could actually able to scale faster, because it is only the infrastructure challenge. That means provisioning more servers, and not a technology challenge from our side, because the technology has been well tested. So we were preparing for an infrastructure update in November, but since surprisingly all this happened, so we are just accelerating those expansion plans.
It's no surprise, Mani. I just, of course, have to ask you this. How are you processing this whirlwind? Does it actually feel like, the patient, quiet decades are finally paying off, or is it still sinking in?
I would say, like, say it's sort of sinking in, and we are also, like, say, practical in understanding that this is just a right start, and how we sustain this momentum, sustain this adoption, because in SaaS the usage is what matters most. So that means not more than the revenue. We actually track the usage. So how many users are coming back? How many users are using the product? How many users are like say really getting value out of the product? Because we are not here to produce shelfware. In software, most of the software doesn't get used, and in SaaS, if it doesn't get used, then people don't pay a subscription. And we have been in
Sure.
subscription for the last 20 years. So in that sense, we are watching the usage. So we are seeing how many meetings are getting created, so how the usage sustains. And so we know this is just a starting, and we are very happy with the traction, but we also are cautious about, like, say, uh, going aggressive on the next steps in terms of development and updates to the app to sustain the momentum.
So, a very happy, but still a cautious, measured start. That's really encouraging to hear. So, from 3,000 to 500,000 daily signups in 72 hours, and the count is only going up. What does this actually teach you about scaling, as you just mentioned a little while back, Mani? And actually, do you turn a patriotic spike into a sustained daily use? How do you do that? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so see, the when the spike happened, so initially, right, say as I said, in November we planned a major announcement for Arattai, and then we were planning the infrastructure for that. Because right, so as we add more features and
Sure.
right, so as we are getting the app ready for the next major launch, we thought, okay, we will increase the infrastructure also. But then all this happened, and so see, instantly we saw some of the teething issues, and we could actually update the right, say our platform faster, quick enough, and now the volume sustains. That means, right, say from 5,000 to 350,000 to 2 million yesterday, and today we expect the same amount of volume. And we think the right, say the OTP issues or other issues have
Sure.
been ironed, because as we are adding more and more infrastructure, the first 24 hours or 40 hours is to just to get a hold of how do we quickly add the infrastructure, because right,
Sure.
say and then we actually found technical solutions to those, and then we are now adding it at a faster pace.
All right. So, well, those things have been ironed out. So, Zoho and Money and the entire team is all set for another 2 million downloads, and the figures are only going to keep going up, which is fabulous. Of course, now moving on, Money, I would like to understand as far as the competitive edge is concerned. The You've clarified Arattai runs only actually on Zoho infra, not AWS or Azure. So the question is, how important is this for digital sovereignty, and how do you prove transparency on privacy as scale grows? Also, what are some of the challenges when it comes to setting infrastructure here in India, and how are you addressing them? Say, procuring of GPUs, or I'm just thinking aloud, or even making them for that matter.
Yeah. So see, the to be clear, so we procure the right, say the servers from the market. That means the hardware is something we buy. So even the GPUs we buy, and we own them. And what we have built is the platform, that is the framework for hosting our application. That means in a SaaS, you always like say go to a public infrastructure as a service platform like AWS or Azure or Google Cloud to host your services. In our case, we have built it ground up. That's why I said like
Sure.
even the messaging framework has been built ground up, and we have been building this from say early 2004 5, right? So our first app was based on our own infrastructure as a service platform. And
Sure.
what we haven't done is we haven't opened it for other developers. So
Hmm.
since we ourselves have built like say hundreds of apps, both in Zoho and in Manage It, we
Hmm.
just right, say used it for our own internal development purposes. So that means the entire software stack, where we have messaging, where we have video audio processing, where we have like say database handling, where we have like right say multi-tenant architecture. So all
Hmm.
those have been like say built in house. The entire software stack is being built in house, and
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
the reason why it is important is like say take a service like email, which is like say very resource intensive. So email is like say highly resource intensive service,
Hmm.
and then email is also a commodity where like say we can't ask a premium, right? The customers don't pay
Sure.
a premium for email. If you
Sure.
have the email kind of service, then you have to be efficient. And that's why, right, say we know from the beginning we want to actually offer email, and we also want to be efficient. That means if we have to do a cost effective email platform, then we have to host our own services rather than hosting in public cloud. So we can't rent, and then we can't pay the rent for those services and then actually have a margin on these services. So
Hmm.
that's why we want to actually do the vertical integration from the beginning. So we want to own every part of the tech stack and build the efficiency there. So that actually builds a lot of efficiency. And think about it, like say now we have 100 servers, right? Hundreds of
Sure.
apps, and all reusing the same authorization and authentication instead of licensing the third party for authorization and
Correct.
authentication. We have built it in house, and the same is what used in Arattai. So for sending OTPs and others.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that is the kind of same way messaging. All the apps use the same messaging platform. Now with AI, all the apps use the same AI platform. So which
Sure.
is in. So that means we are reusing all these components across these apps, and we are also opening our platform for third parties to build extension others and publish in our
Nice.
marketplace. We also use
Hmm.
the same infrastructure. That's the advantage we have.
Mani, you mentioned, I mean, very quickly, I just wanted to ask you this. You mentioned since 2004. So that means this philosophy of building from ground up has been at the bedrock of the philosophy as far as Zoho is concerned. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Yes, you are right. Because
All
we
right.
want to right say we don't look at business software problem as oh okay it's a sales problem or a service problem.
Hmm.
We from the beginning we looked out as it's a running the business problem.
Sure.
And that's why in Manage Engine we provide all the IT management solution. So from ITSM to network monitoring to server monitoring, and in Zoho we provide all the business software application. If you look
Hmm.
at both the brands, you have end-to-end applications available from Zoho, and Zoho runs on Zoho. All our 18,000 employees and our data centers are managed by Manage Engine applications, and entire
Hmm.
Zoho runs on Zoho. So that's been our goal from the beginning, and somewhere in 2009-10 we achieved that goal of running entire Zoho on Zoho, and it continues.
Wonderful. So that means data sovereignty has forever been at the cornerstone as far as Zoho is concerned. Coming back to Arattai, you are exploring UPI style open messaging protocols. Uh, what would success look like, and why take this radical step? How is it different from, let's say, a WhatsApp? It actually would be great if you could shine the light on this.
So if you take the consumer space, there is a winner takes all kind of a model. The
Hmm.
reason is because things are mostly proprietary. And UPA could have, if there is no UPA, then it would have been the same in case of
Sure.
payments. And so, if say, for example, every country wants the sovereignty, and then they have to have their own apps, and there has to be a openness in the app ecosystem without any monopoly, then
Hmm.
this kind of interoperability actually matters a lot. So
Hmm.
in business software, that's why any new vendor is able to participate, and then if they are offering a good value to the customer, they are able
Hmm.
to actually right say sustain their business. But in
Sure.
consumer space, they are not able to sustain the business because it is not interoperable. So now, if we come up with a standard and we make
Hmm.
it interoperable, at least say a country like India, where we have so much population, so much regional diversity, so there can be multiple apps, but each one, say, I can use Arattai, you can use WhatsApp, or you can use some
Sure.
other messaging app, and then we all can collaborate together without worrying
Hmm.
about, oh, okay, what app we are using.
Hmm. 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 Fair
No,
enough.
that's the, and we are proposing this, and we have to see, like, it's a right say initial discussion stage, and we have to see, like, say, how well this is being received, and how important priority it is for to come up with a standard.
Fair enough. The Android TV Edge, well, also Arattai's Android TV app makes it, the only messenger on the big screen. How did that actually come about? And could it change user behavior as far as India's living rooms are concerned? Is that what was at the heart of this particular aspect?
So, see, if you take Arattai, it is a consumer app, and say, suppose you are having some birthday function in your home, and you want to, right, say, your parents are somewhere and they have to see it. So, rather
Sure.
than seeing it in the mobile phone, if they connect it to Android TV, and you just connect the meetings, because meetings is a unique feature in Arattai.
Hmm.
So, where we try to, right, say, some of the meetings we want to actually bring into Arattai, and
Hmm.
so you can just watch it in the TV, and so you feel much more closer to the event rather than being like,
Nice.
say that's the whole idea, right? So we want to
Hmm.
make the experience better, because we know, like, say, in meetings for consumers, it is not about, like, say, work. What we are doing now is not going to happen in a work environment. It is going to be
Hmm.
mostly, like, say, projecting a function or a event, or, right, say, all those memories, and watching it in the TV will make a experience better. That's the idea.
Wow, wonderful, Mani. Actually, I would like to ask you that what I could get a sense as far as that was concerned was the fact that you want to make that user experience so delightful for the end user. Are there any other facets that you might be bringing in? Like you said, meetings is unique. Are there any other things which are planned, probably from use cases in the past, or from the learnings, or for that matter, maybe feedbacks that you've received from the team, etc.? It would be very interesting for you to maybe shed light on that.
Yeah, see, we have plans for a lot of interesting stuff that, right, because a click has built as a platform. That means, like, right, say we allow external developers to build apps for click,
Sure.
and click is the internal messaging platform we have for businesses, and we want to bring some of those valuable, right, platform learning to Arattai, so that a lot of valuable applications can be built, and
Could you give
so,
us a sneak peek on one of those? It would be interesting.
say, I can't give a concrete example because it's
Fair
like
enough.
leaving.
But somewhere, maybe we
Yes.
can take a little guess at it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would leave it to users' guess, because
Okay.
I want to maintain the secrecy here, because these use cases are, like, say, we want to be the first to launch it. So that's
Okay.
why I want to maintain that. Yeah, sorry for that.
All right.
Thank
I was just pushing you for maybe something extremely exclusive on front page, but I will of course continue in my effort to do so as we go along. Well, as far as building India's AI stack is concerned, you've revealed ZILLMs from 1.3B to 7B parameters with a 100B roadmap, all trained for enterprise tasks. Why is right sizing models and owning the entire AI stack a strategic moat for Zoho when everyone else is actually chasing giant open models money?
Yeah, see, if you look at the enterprise challenges, challenge within a business, it is very different from the consumer challenges. So, say the same what we have done with infrastructure as a service. Rather than opening it for the external developers, we focused on building our own products on top of it and making sure, like, right, say we right size the infrastructure,
Hmm. Hmm.
and since we are bootstrapped, we also have to take care of the investment, right? So we are
Sure.
putting our profits back. So we have to actually grow with the revenue, grow with the profits. So rather than, like, right, say heavily investing on the infrastructure and then catching up on the growth, so we do this way. And the same is what we are trying with LLM, right? And
Right.
in the early days, there are a lot of learnings on new use cases, what where it works, where it doesn't work, all those. We want to learn
Hmm.
all those with by right sizing the model, focusing on our customers, because we do have, like, say huge number of customers, like, say 1 million customers. We are going to reach 1 million customers soon, and we
Hmm.
want to actually
Amen to that.
offer them the value first,
Hmm.
and then
Hmm.
learn from those experiments, and then say, click, we offered 10 years back and now Arattai. So anything can happen in future. So
Oh yes, and the future looks bright and shining money. As far as the long game is concerned, so without VC or IPO pressure, you have mentioned this. You have compounded quietly for decades. Do you still see going public as unnecessary, or could Arattai change all of that purely because of the sheer scale of it?
yeah, see, the we first thing is, like, say, we don't need a capital infusion at this point of time, because we are
Mm-hmm.
self-sustainable and we do have the capital for the expansion. So that is the first thing. And the other is, like, say, how much experiment can we do? And say, take an Arattai experiment or take our own office suite experiments, which have been
Hmm.
going on for last 20 years. So will public shareholder be happy with that kind of an experiment where there is no right, so there is no end goal, or, right, say, there is no visibility on return on investment on
Hmm.
those investments, right? So even today, yeah, so how do we monetize RTI? We don't have a concrete answer, and we don't even look for those answers. We do
Hmm.
have,
Hmm.
right, say, we look at it as, like, oh, okay, so how do we increase the usage? How do we make sure that the
My,
data
that's amazing. Truly
is, yes,
amazing.
yes,
Hmm.
that's where we focus on. And these focus, and see, once you go on quarterly announcements, and so once you face the analyst, then it's going to be, like, say, it changes, shifts your focus. Today our
Sure.
focus is entirely on, okay, usage, don't worry about revenue, so revenue will follow usage. So this is a message we give for internal product teams, and that can never be, and every quarter you can't announce something new, so we can't
True.
just, right, then we start to make decisions based on that reality and not the current reality. So that's where we want to stay away from that, and we want to, because we do see a lot of experimentation that's need to be done. We do see that a lot of learning opportunities are there. We do see, like, say,
Nice.
we need to build a talent ecosystem, and that's where we want to put our focus on and our profits on. So, and that's and so not anytime soon we are even thinking about those.
Money, what I could understand from that, well, my little takeaway from that is the fact that very grounded approach to ensure there is freedom of flight all the time. And also, more importantly, is the fact that when you mentioned that you're not really looking at how to monetize, etc., all of that, which means that there is uh, the entire energy is channeled towards the end user. That is the real aspect in terms of probably the takeaway, or probably the sense of happiness that you have from it.
Yes, exactly. Right. So we look for usage, and if you look at our entire business model so far,
Mm,
99% of our business have come from inbound inquiries. That
mm,
means customers go to our site, sign up, and then they buy our products. So that's how
Sure.
we have been selling our products. And so that means our focus is not in like, oh, okay, getting sales on the field and then knocking every door and trying to sell our products. Rather, we want to create the demand, we want to serve the demand, and we want to keep it organic too.
Hmm. Nice. So, Mani, it wouldn't be incorrect for me to say that why does one need outside capital when the real capital is coming from such a loyal and ever growing ecosystem of the users, if I've understood what you said and I've translated it right.
Yes, you are right.
Wonderful. Zoho's growth, actually, then that brings me to that point. It's a natural segue into that. And actually, now Arattai's consumer success would make any company a stock market darling. So, do you see a scenario where you tap the public markets in, well, maybe the next decade, or is staying private still non-negotiable? And why?
Yeah, so far it's not negotiable for us. And as I said, we are in this for a long game, and we want to invest in a lot of technologies. We want to bring the expertise, build the expertise. So we want to learn by doing. So because we don't, some of the learnings we can only do by doing it. So actually doing and
Fair
failing and
enough.
yeah. So that's why I don't think we have any plans in the near future.
Wonderful. As far as scale is concerned, US remains your largest market money today. But India is obviously catching up and it's doing so very fast. So, at the current growth rate, when do you kind of see India overtaking, well, the United States for Zoho? And how would that reshape your product roadmap and investment priorities? Very important question.
Yeah. So see, if you in the next decade, we see that based on the India's current growth, India is going to be a large market for technology. So we are already seeing that. So we saw that with UPI, the adoption, and so in terms of our investment, already we are investing heavily in India. So if you look
Mm-hmm.
at our enterprise and mid market momentum, we started in India. So the SMB push started in US, but the mid market push started in India, and we won a lot of large customers in India, and we are learning that, and then we are actually replicating that model across the
Money,
globe.
would you be kind enough to maybe just give some numbers, or for that matter, give some clues as far as that is concerned for our viewers? It would be nice if you could just maybe shine the light on that. When you talked about huge investments that you're making, you've won companies here in India. It would be nice for our viewers.
Yeah, see that in terms of investments, see, we have added like say regional sales across India. So we have now regional presence across India, and then we are investing on India specific products. Like for example, Arattai is India first, and
Hmm.
then right. So we have done a POS which was India first. So we have done
Hmm.
like say GST launch which was India first, right? So
Hmm.
GST 2.0 we are ready now. We have already supported it. So like that in terms of R&D, in terms of our sales and marketing, we have been investing like say very heavily on the right on the marketing and the on the field support and service side. So
Sure.
where we are setting up regional support centers across India.
Okay. So, well, clearly the philosophy is to have India first as a philosophy. As far as the product philosophy goes, Mani, Zoho's early culture of very patient execution is often credited to your brother, Kumar's influence and his philosophy that, and I will quote this, the hare can win, the tortoise can win, but not trying never wins. End quote. How does that mindset continue to shape Zoho's strategy today, especially as you scale AI and consumer products like, well, Arattai?
Yeah. So see the entire leadership, who is now we are a decentralized company and we have leadership across different functions of the tech stack. And right, the entire leadership actually were mentored by Kumar. So in the early period, right? So he mentored us, and during that time, say our the ecosystem is like say none of us may not be aware of a lot of technology. Like the reason is because it's all new in 1996. I'm talking about.
Hmm.
That means the only option is to learn and do. So, for example, so to write a software product documentation. So there is no ready-made talent that will be available in the market. So that means someone from us has to learn and then train somebody and then get them on to speed. And
Nice.
even so, a lot of people may not even join for that role because that role is not well defined in the market.
Sure.
So our first documentation writer was front office, right? Say a person who was working there, and we moved her and trained our software, and then asked her to write the documentation. So similarly, everything. So if you don't know, the option is to learn. So that's
Nice.
how we have been, right? Say trained. So there is no like formal training courses. Rather, it is like say doing, learning from doing, and that's what we actually, right? Say did with Zoho schools also, where
Hmm.
we train them on practical skills and then we absorb them in the team and they learn by doing. So by learning by doing, you also like say make decisions every day. You make some
Yep.
decision. Oh, should I write this code this way or that way? And you fail and then you learn. So those learnings are more sustainable and that also gives an experience. So and say for example the right the people the leadership that worked on Arattai has been with the company for like say more than 20 years. So
Wow.
they worked with certain problems, then they moved into this messaging, and then they stay on messaging problem for last 20 years. Same
Hmm.
way today we announced something, right? Say a new visual collaboration platform called
Hmm.
Vani.
Hmm.
And if you look at the team that worked on Vani, so they were the ones who created the Zoho show, which is our presentation platform.
Nice.
And so that means, right? Say it's the same continuous learning that happens, and then we identify new market opportunities, and so they continue to do that, right? Continue to learn and do. So, and that's the part of our culture now. So we don't actually know any other way of doing things. You only know like, oh, if you don't know, go and learn and do. That's what we know.
That's beautiful, Money, and of course, speaks volumes about the fact that so much of confidence is given to everyone. It's okay to make mistakes, but the fact is, at the core of it all, is the learning. And do you believe? I have to ask you this: do you believe that that is the true strength in terms of the pillar of strength as far as Zoho is concerned, for a statement like, well, we are the only company that can match the depth and the breadth as far as the Microsoft suite is concerned? Is that where that clarion call is coming from, Money? I would love for you to share that with the viewers.
Yeah, so the definitely right. That's been the strength because we know a lot of these technology challenges are not like can't be solved within a year or two. So it requires
Sure.
long lot of time to learn and do it, and that means right. Say we have to invest that time, that effort, and so if we keep a deadline, right? Say a time bomb on each of the success or the failure, then we are not never going to experiment new ideas. So, and then if we keep punishing the failures, so we are
Hmm.
never going to experiment on new ideas. Nobody will be willing to experiment. So the Vani, which I talked about today, was an experiment. It started as an experiment. It is
Hmm.
open for internal use. Then we actually productize that. So that's how
Nice.
we tend to do things. If somebody gets an idea, so they go and experiment, and then so we don't actually hold them responsible for any failure as long as they put the effort and they tried hard. So we just encourage them to try and learn because we look at it as a journey and not a destination. That means like it's a learning journey. So your initial
Nice.
experiments fail, that learning will actually help you in doing something else better in future, and we never know when that future will arrive.
Wonderful. And clearly, Money, it's because of that philosophy that the magic keeps happening at Zoho. Money, of course, I have to ask you this. A lot of people, as we are live in our chat, are asking about end to end encryption. Sridhar has already said you had planned it for October end, but with this sudden vertical takeoff, you're now speeding it up. So, can you maybe please share how soon users can expect full E2 EE across chats, calls, and video on Arattai?
Yeah, so the calls is already there,
Okay.
and that we already give a option. So it is by default we have disabled it, but we have given a private chat option where once you enable it, then it is actually end-to-end encrypted. So, but that's what we are wanting to make it as default, and
Mm-hmm.
for that we need to do some more work for it to scale, and that's what we are working on. The team is working on, and we are on
Mm.
it. It's the highest priority for us, and
Sure.
soon we'll announce the update once it is ready for the scale.
Okay. Well, Mani, I would like to ask you as far as your message is concerned. One, two. I would like to ask you what is the future looking like as far as Zoho is concerned.
So the say in terms of Zoho, yes, we are um, the whole the tech stack, whatever we are working on, we need to ensure that it scales. And right, so as far as Zoho is
Nice.
concerned, so we have to scale for the volume, because as we are getting into consumers,
Mm-hmm.
so that's right. Say that's our top priority as far as Zoho is concerned now. And there are going to be a lot of challenges that's going to come, and we are ready to solve it because we have the capability today. And I feel there is a good opportunity in the market because we are digitizing at a rapid pace, and we also believe that there are a lot of unique challenges for India as
Nice.
a because we are not a we can't just plug and play some other solution from some other country that can work for us. So we have to find a local solution for our own problems. And with this, I think the focus will shift to more and more solving local problems, and we want to actually focus on those. And we want to enable the right say enable solution building at scale with our platform. So that's our future goal.
Mani, we're going to take a short little break and we're going to be coming back. But before we do that, uh, I have to say this to you. We really want to thank you so very much, Mani, for your insights. Finally, just want to say this. While Arattai may mean a casual chat in Tamil, what you and Zoho has started, Money, is a conversation that could actually change the course of Indian technology. We wish you and the entire team at Zoho from AIM Network all the very best for now and forever.
Yeah. Thank you, Amit. Thank you, Sudhi, for having me, and thanks for viewers. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, that was the CEO of Zoho, a man who is been brilliant at the core, at the epicenter of this wonderful little flight that has taken off. And this is what we at AIM Network believe. Arattai isn't just topping charts. It's actually a reminder that India doesn't need to borrow belief from anywhere else. From a campus in Tenkasi, Tamil Nadu, to millions of devices across the globe. Zoho has shown us what patience, principle, and people can achieve. This moment is actually bigger than one app. It's proof that India can chart its own digital future, build its own AI stack, and stand shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. This is more than just an app. It's India proving we can build, we can lead, and more importantly, we can dream on our own terms. Well, we're going to take a short little break and we're going to be back with lots more on Front Page.
We are AIM Media House. Born in Nama, Bengaluru. Built for the world. We make tech make sense. We tell stories that matter. This is the era of AI, and we are the ones telling its story. Think AI, think AIM.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Front Page. And again, a heartfelt thank you to Mani. It was such an insightful conversation. And again, we would like to wish Zoho and Mani sir all the best going onwards and upwards. Well, yesterday on Front Page, we showed you how OpenAI quietly re-architected the internet's checkout button, turning ChatGPT into an Amazon killer with instant checkout. And today, well, they've gone even bigger. OpenAI has just entered social media with Sora 2 and a brand new app that looks like Instagram, except instead of selfies and filters, it's an AI video feed where you can star in any scene. This is being called the ChatGPT moment for social media. And as for the internet, well, already losing its mind. Let's dive in. Sora 2 is a physics-aware world simulator. Old models fumbled reality balls teleporting into hoops. People morphing through walls. Sora 2, well, it nails rebounds, buoyancy, even triple accels while a cat clings on for dear life. And then comes the app. Swipeable TikTok style feed. Remix anyone's video. And the viral kicker, cameos. Record yourself once and suddenly you can drop into any AI generated scene from dragon slaying to, well, Vogue runways. This is a new reality engine. The reactions, well, that's what you're asking? Predictably chaotic. On Reddit, these were some of the comments. GPUs are melting. Is video evidence even real anymore? Another one asked, crossing a threshold. Sam Altman himself said this. This feels like the ChatGPT for creativity moment, end quote. But unlike TikTok's doom scroll feed, OpenAI insists Sora is built to maximize creation, not consumption. Well, you don't just watch, you make. And that flips the script on its head. Instead of fighting for your attention, OpenAI is fighting for your imagination. And Mark Zuckerberg is definitely not smiling. This might just be Sam Altman's way of taking revenge. Remember, Meta has been on a hiring spree, dangling $100 million plus offers to lure OpenAI staff into Zuckerberg's super intelligence team. Well, they even poached Apple's top AI scientist with a $200 million package, more than Tim Cook's salary. Sam didn't take that lightly. And now, instead of suing, he's actually building an Instagram killer powered by Sora 2. That's not just product innovation, that's payback disguised as platform disruption. Or it might also actually backfire and might poach again. Who knows? Well, as far as the timing is concerned, it is ruthless. Just 2 days ago, Meta launched Vibes, its AI video feed inside Instagram. Google dropped VEO3, wired straight into YouTube Shorts. But OpenAI, well, they skipped the middleman. They didn't just build the model, they built the platform. This isn't just an upgrade, this is the start of the video wars of 2025. Meta Vibes is equal to distribution muscle. Google VEO3 is equal to speed and shorts. OpenAI Sora 2 is equal to, get ready for it, physics, realism, and social creativity. Whoever wins, well, doesn't just own video, they own the future of culture online. This is not still live in India. Well, that's as of yet. But when it drops, it hits Insta. You know, every digital era has had its medium. Let's go back. Facebook was equal to photos. Instagram is equal to filters. TikTok is equal to short form video. Sora is equal to AI generated worlds. And just like with commerce yesterday, there's one big catch. India, OpenAI's second largest ChatGPT market, doesn't have access yet. When it does, it won't just clash with Instagram, it'll actually hit Flipkart, Meesho, Nykaa, Ajio, Blinkit, Big Basket, because the same AI that stars you in the videos, well, can also sell you things inside of them. From chat to checkout yesterday to create to commerce today. So, is this the end of Instagram or the beginning of an AI native internet where social, shopping, and storytelling collapse into one? Either way, OpenAI just went from powering the apps to becoming the app. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Cerebras Systems just closed an oversubscribed $1.1 billion Series G at an $8.1 billion post-money. The anchors, Fidelity and Atreides. In the pack is Tiger Global, Valor Equity, 1789 Capital, with existing backers Altimeter, Alpha Wave, Benchmark continuing. Citigroup and Barclays ran point as joint placement agents. This is, well, late-stage public market money backing a very specific bet. Break Nvidia's chokehold on AI inference. Since launching its inference service in late 2024, independent benchmarks, artificial analysis, have actually repeatedly shown Cerebras delivering more than 20 times faster inference versus Nvidia GPUs across open and closed source models. That isn't a party trick. Real-time agents, code gen, and reasoning workloads live or die on latency and throughput. Cerebras says it's now serving trillions of tokens per month across its own cloud. On-prem installs and partner platforms on Hugging Face, it's actually the #1 inference provider with 5 million plus monthly requests. Speed converts to capacity. Capacity converts to revenue. At the core is the wafer-scale Engine 3, WSE3, 56 times larger than the biggest GPU with massive on-chip memory and fabric to keep tokens moving without drowning in interconnect overhead. The pitch: higher perf per watt, fewer nodes, simpler clusters, and 20 times plus faster inference for the same model. Precisely where agentic workloads are exploding. 2025 logos include AWS, Meta, IBM, Mistral, Cognition, AlphaSense, Notion, plus GlaxoSmithKline, Mayo Clinic, and US DOE and DOD. Well, that breadth actually matters. Consumer AI, enterprise search, pharma, national labs, all with spiky low latency inference needs. This is not actually a science project, it's production. Cerebras doesn't pour data center concrete, it actually rents facilities and fills them with its systems. In 2025 alone, 5 new US data centers, Dallas, Oklahoma City, Santa Clara, and more, with Montreal and Europe on deck. Manufacturing and packaging are United States based. Capacity was 8 times in the last 18 months, with another 4 times planned in the next 6 to 8 months. The fresh $1.1 billion funds, more US manufacturing, more DC capacity, and continued invention in chip design, packaging, systems, and AI supercomputers. Cerebras filed to IPO in September 24, but hit a CFIUS delay over a $335 million strategic investment from Abu Dhabi's G42. Clearance arrived in March, and the partnership continues well with export licenses as needed, bringing in public-style investors. Fidelity, Tiger, Valor at Series G is actually classic pre-IPO choreography. CEO Andrew Feldman says IPO is still the plan. This round buys time and scale without actually starving growth. If Cerebras sustains 10 to 20 times speedups at comparable or lower power, the math shifts. Fewer racks, fewer hops, less idle, more tokens per dollar. For agentic apps, lower inference latency packages, more tools, call per session, better answers, less drop-off, higher ARPU. Well, that's the monetization flywheel OpenAI, Anthropic, and every enterprise builder care about. Software gravity. Nvidia's CUDA ecosystem is a moat. Cerebras must keep friction near zero via its inference cloud in endpoints and clean model support. The supply chain, well, TSMC still fabs the wafers. Yield and packaging are non-trivial at wafer scale. Power and real estate, well, DC availability, megawatts plus cooling is now a national infrastructure problem. The competitor counters, well, Nvidia, Blackwell, and AMD MI families will optimize hard for inference. Custom silicon, TPU class, well, that remains quite real. Geopolitics, Middle East deliveries actually require export licenses. Policy shocks can hit timelines. Well, this isn't just another chip startup race. It's a capacity signal. The market believes inference is entering its real-time, agentic, always-on phase, and that Cerebras can be the low-latency lane. If it keeps the 20 times daily edge, scales United States manufacturing, and abstracts the software pain, we get a genuine non-NVIDIA path for production AI. If not, it risks becoming a high-performance niche in a CUDA world. Cerebras now has $1.1 billion to turn a physics advantage into an economics advantage and an ecosystem. If they land it, the future of AI inference won't be written in CUDA. It will actually be written on a single wafer. If they miss, NVIDIA's lead compounds. We, of course, would like to know, which way does your bet go? Please do let us know what you think in the comments below. Meta Platforms, the company behind Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, has made a decisive leap into AI hardware. It's acquiring Rivos, a Santa Clara-based startup designing RISC-V AI chips, the open source alternative to Nvidia, Intel, and AMD. Rivos isn't a garage experiment. Backed by Intel veteran Lip Bhutan, it raised $250 million and was valued at around $2 billion. Its first processors are slated for 2026, and now with Meta's backing, they could actually accelerate faster than planned. Let's be clear. This is actually less about offense and more about survival. Meta is spending, wait for it, $66 to $72 billion in 2025 on data centers and AI infrastructure. The bulk of that billions upon billions goes straight to Nvidia. Meta's in-house Meta Training and Inference Accelerator (MTIA) project has made progress, but Zuckerberg isn't satisfied with the pace. Industry insiders says he's actually frustrated at how slowly Meta is cutting reliance on Nvidia's GPUs, which still power almost every big AI workload from llama training to Instagram recommendations. This is where Rivos comes in. RISC-V isn't just another chip. It's actually an open instruction set architecture designed to break the proprietary stranglehold of ARM and, more importantly, NVIDIA's CUDA ecosystem. Why does that matter? Well, this is why. Because even Amazon and Google tread carefully around NVIDIA. Reports suggest they brief Jensen Huang, NVIDIA's CEO, before announcing new chips to avoid supply chain retaliation. That's how much power NVIDIA wields. So by bringing Rivos in-house, Meta is actually saying this: we don't just want cheaper compute, we want freedom from CUDA captivity. Meta's Rivos deal isn't actually happening in isolation. The AI hardware wars are accelerating across big tech. Google has its own tensor processing units, TPUs, and the new Axiom ARM CPUs powering Google Cloud. Microsoft is rolling out its Maya AI accelerators and Cobalt CPUs for Azure. Amazon has the widest in-house silicon portfolio with Trainium for training, Inferentia for inference, and Graviton CPUs. Apple continues to double down on M series and A series chips with dedicated neural engines for on-device AI. Even OpenAI and Anthropic are rumored to be scoping chip design partnerships. That's the context. Every AI giant wants to control its own silicon destiny. By acquiring Rivos, Meta is signaling that it won't just rent compute from Nvidia forever. It's actually preparing to join this elite club of silicon sovereigns. Wall Street wasn't impressed right away. Meta's stock slipped 2% on the news. This could also be because of OpenAI disrupting Instagram and Facebook, the launch of Sora 2, alongside the TikTok and Instagram style social video app, which was covered extensively here on front page today. Make sure to check it out. Well, if you haven't already. But, well, coming back, this isn't actually a short-term play. This is about strategic independence. So when your North Star is actually super intelligence, AI as capable as or better than humans, you don't want your entire future locked to a single supplier. This isn't Zuckerberg's first flirtation with chip acquisitions. Earlier this year, Meta tried to buy Furoshia AI, a Korean chip maker, for $800 million. That deal fell through, unfortunately. Now, with Rivos, Zuck gets not just technology, but a team capable of building full-stack AI systems from chip to cloud. That's crucial as Meta builds out its massive Louisiana data center, funded by a recent $29 billion raise, and spends more on AI infrastructure than nearly any company on earth. Let's actually zoom out. Nvidia still dominates. Its GPUs remain the backbone of Meta's AI efforts and will continue to be through 2025. Reverse chips won't hit production until 2026 at the earliest. But symbolism matters. This deal is Meta planning a flag. We won't just be Nvidia's biggest customer, we'll be a real competitor, end quote. Because in AI, the real question isn't just who has the best models, it's actually who controls the silicon those models run on. Meta's acquisition of Rivos won't topple Nvidia tomorrow, but it actually signals the next phase of the AI chip wars. Zuckerberg knows this. If you want to build trillion-dollar AI platforms, you can't just rent compute. You need to own the chips that actually power them. And in that sense, this move isn't just about semiconductors, it's about power leverage and the long game of AI. Well, with that, it's good night from front page on AIM Network, India's definitive media organization and voice on everything AI and technology. Front page is powered by MachineCon 2025 and invite-only residential summit for GCC heads, exclusively brought to you by AIM Network. Please, right now, don't go anywhere because we will be back with Debunked, yes, where we bring you the latest tech and tools without the fuss. Right after this, join us if you're ready to, well, soar. Think AI, think AIM.
We are AIM Media House. Born in Nama, Bengaluru. Built for the world. We make tech make sense. We tell stories that matter. This is the era of AI, and we are the ones telling its story. Think AI, think AIM.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Debunked. If Sora 1 was a sore point, well, don't worry, because Sora 2 is here, yes, in its magnum opus release, and it definitely promises to dazzle us. And of course, also dazzling us is a magical maverick, a creative genius, our creative design head, Kailash. I had to do the echo. Well, Kailash, of course, has joined us and graced us with his presence here on Debunked. And of course, he was doing all the heavy lifting, all of the brilliance at Cypher 2025. But now Kailash still has a smile on his face, which is amazing. Despite Cypher 2025. Well, welcome to the show, Kailash. And of course, everyone is extremely excited and very happy to definitely get to know about what's going on as far as Sora 2 is concerned. So very quickly, before I bring you in, I want to give a slight intro as far as what Sora 2 is all about. Sure. And here it is. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, they all fight for your attention. But AI just flipped the Sora 2 and its brand new social video app. You don't just scroll and listen. You actually imagine. Doom scrolling is about turn But what types of shape and what are the risks nobody's talking about. But Kailash and I shall do that today on Debunked. And of course, I am back to say hello to my producer. I was missing him. Well, welcome to the show again. Okay, Kailash, I would like for you to go ahead and shed light on Sora 2.
Okay, so I mean, I'm sure that everybody has, gotten hyped when Sora 1 came out.
Correct.
And Sora 1 gave out too many promises which they couldn't deliver. So people fell back to other platforms, like for example me, right? I was so excited about Sora 1.
Right.
Once the model got released, I tried a few prompts myself, and the results were quite, I wouldn't say quite, they were really bad. So
Nice, I like the honesty.
So for designs, right? For designs or static artworks, I used to follow or use a specific platform called Midjourney.
Sure.
So Midjourney also came up with their video platform as well, or video generation.
Right.
And their video generation I felt was far superior than
Sora.
OpenAI's Sora, right? And Midjourney, when you look at it like a company, you compare it with OpenAI's Sora or OpenAI. Midjourney is nowhere close to OpenAI's scale.
Fair enough.
Right?
Yeah.
But still, if a company like Midjourney could bring a video model which is far superior than OpenAI Sora,
that's like egg on face.
That's egg on face.
Serious egg on face.
So So that's why I completely like avoided using Sora 1.
Wow.
After a point, it's like, okay, I'm just wasting my time. I'm not going to get anything coherent or cohesive
Okay.
out of Sora.
And was that the general input that you
It was,
received
at
from
least
your
the-
ecosystem, let's say,
it
in
is.
terms of the designers and
It was. So I checked with my fellow designers. I checked with a lot of them. Some people do like it for simple animated stuff.
right.
But some people really, really hated it for not giving them even remotely close to what is desired or what is
Right.
even needed. So from a company,
Could you
like-
highlight an example, maybe?
so for example, you throw a basketball, right? You throw a basketball into the post, goal post, or and
Hoop कहते हैं उसको कैलाश.
sorry, my bad. I'm not a sports person, but
Fine.
sure, the ball went through the hoop, not within the net. It actually
Oh,
so you can see the
that's
bar.
like true talent.
You can see the bar and the ball.
The
went
bar
over
was set
that,
very low.
right? So that's
No.
object permanence or whatever going completely wrong, or whatever.
Got it.
Causality
Understood.
going completely wrong.
Understood.
So that's where you started questioning, okay, OpenAI, you can't do shit like this.
Correct.
You can't give us a model which you've hyped so much about.
Correct.
And then give us this. And after all, I'm paying for it as well.
Ah, whoa,
Right?
that's another
That's
sore
another
point.
sore point.
Ah.
So enough is enough. I saw Sora 2's reveal. Sure, they are very, very ambitious. And I gotta give some credit to them based on a few things.
Okay.
So one is they are trying to create an ecosystem or a social platform where you can say that, okay, let's replace or let's create something which is of a new experience, which is
that cameo bit, right?
which is the cameo bit. Also, it is completely a feed filled with AI generated content.
Okay.
It is not something which we are used to. Of course, we use Instagram, people use TikTok abroad, and they come across a mix of content. Right?
Sure.
You see real content, you see a mix of
AI generated, yeah,
whatever,
true,
whatever.
true.
So this being a platform which is going to show us only AI generated content is going to be something new for us. How will people
Will
resonate
be,
to that?
that was going to be what I was going to
There are
ask.
two things to this. So it also depends on the audience. So if you ask me, right, me as a person who goes on social media, I like to see
A human?
a human one. I like to see also real stories. I like to see real
Yes,
content,
correct.
real people speaking about their life or
Sure.
maybe showing their talents,
Same
skills,
here.
whatever.
Same here.
AI content is also something that I really like, but that has a complete entertainment value or a very
True.
fun, like, okay, I'm
But
just-
there has been, Kailash, let's be
Yeah.
honest, there have been reels, for example, which I've seen where people have tried to replicate moments where probably footage wasn't there. AI generated, you asked me? Yes, you're right. I mean, if I would keep watching it again and again and again and again.
He
Yeah.
once appreciated
I would like to do the stiff upper lip British way. This is really wrong. Not really. It's fish and chip. That was just completely missing.
That was missing. That is heavily improved. At least depending on what I've seen from their launch.
Okay,
That
okay.
is heavily improved. Now, second thing is, are they saying that this is going to replace existing social media platforms like Instagram?
That's a huge claim.
That's a huge claim. Also considering the fact that the audience of Instagram and TikTok is close to billions. If we are at billions right now.
Correct.
Right? TikTok is 1.6 billion.
Correct.
Instagram is close to 3 billion. So this OpenAI is going to launch it in a face-by-face manner. Initially, they're going to restrain the launch to a lot of, for a lot of people.
True.
Invite only. You can probably, once you get invited, you can
yeah,
invite 4
correct,
other people, 4
correct.
friends. So probably initial launch may have, let's say, 20,000 people, 35,000.
Yeah, true.
Right?
And that too is being, well,
Or give it 2
adventurous.
lakhs, maybe 1 million.
You're being very generous today.
Being very, very generous.
Yes, true.
And we're talking about billions here.
Yeah, that's,
We're talking about
yeah,
billions.
that's a big one.
That's a big one. Maybe 5 years down the lane when Sora 5 comes out, I guess this could pick up. I'm not sure. I'm not
Okay.
sure. We'll have to wait and see about that.
Kailash, of course, has not yet made a judgment call because Kailash, we're going to go ahead and talk about claim number 1.
Sure.
धीरे धीरे चलते हैं
Sure,
भाई.
sure.
Okay. Well, basically it makes videos. Sora 2, we've really calm down. The reality is this. Well, what is the hype? Hype is OpenAI says Sora 2 isn't just generating short clips. It's actually building entire worlds. You have to talk about this with physics, sound, and you in the frame, my friend. The reality check, Yes, Sora 2 fixes the broken physics of Gen 1, the Generation 1 model. Balls bounce. Well, not all of them. Water flows. Characters walk more believably. So, given all these factors that we're talking about, what is your commentary on it?
Sure, it is a step closer to real video simulation, right? I mean,
Right.
that's a given because okay, you've learned from your previous failure and then you've made it, I don't know, like exponentially better. Now the question is, what is physics accurate? They're claiming that okay, this time Sora 2 model is going to be more physics accurate. Now that does not mean it's reality.
Okay, so I'm going to throw a curveball at you.
Sure.
A lot of people are claiming the fact that this could be a Pixar pipeline.
No, sorry. I mean, I am
I just thought
completely
I'll.
against it. No, no, no. That's at least for a 5 seconder, you can call it a Pixar timeline. The moment it goes to a 15 seconds, come on, no, 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 it's
Not
not gonna
happening.
work out. No.
Okay.
So that's where I feel or I see the limitation is gonna lie. You give it a prompt and okay, for the first 5 seconds, it's gonna give you something very, very brilliant, like Sora Model 2. But maybe after, if you give it like a very comprehensive prompt where you define a lot of things, and once you cross that 15-second
Barrier.
that's a goner.
That's it.
That's
It's
it.
done. Okay, tell me this, Kailash. On this particular claim, as far as the hype and the reality is concerned, also the takeaway factor is the fact that there is no Pixar pipeline. That is not the case. Okay, so that's done and out. But tell me this: the amount of pressure probably on OpenAI, given the brilliant history of Sora 1, the Generation 1. You think that at so many levels would have had an impact in terms of the development in a good or a bad way? Because there's received a lot of flack, right? And so when you're launching the second version, you got that entire angle to it.
Okay. So
What's your thought on that?
one thing is they've launched and failed Sora 1.
हाँ वो इसी के लिए कह
Now
रहा
the second thing is they're not just releasing a model, they're releasing an app.
Correct.
It's an engagement platform
True.
where they expect people to make or engage with the platform in a way that okay, you're not consuming content, you're creating content.
Sure.
So that creation is itself going to cause a little level of curiosity in you. Okay, what can I do? This
ठीक
whole
है.
cameo feature, mein, what can I be? What can I become? Like for me, right? Me, I'm a gamer, so I like playing games. I have a huge community of friends.
Medal of Honor, do you like that?
Sorry, of course I do. I mean, I've played multiple parts of
I
that as
have
well.
new respect for you.
So in that community, that whole gamified feel.
Silent Hill?
Silent Hill, yes.
Sorry, I keep getting distracted since we're
No
talking
worries,
about
man.
games.
I'm always in for another
Yeah,
conversation.
later.
Later. But in this whole gamification, or okay, let's say I'm in a virtual world where I can become something else which I cannot be in this world.
Sure.
That sort of continuous engagement where I am creating with me or my friends or my known ones in my circle is what is going to
I
keep
know
me
what you mean. I
invested.
think, yeah.
Right? It's not going to be a consumption platform.
True.
It's not going to be like
It's like you're in a bubble, in a weird way.
in a bubble, I would say. I'm creating, I'm consuming. I'm creating, I'm consuming. I'm maybe creating more than consuming.
Sure. And how would other people be reacting to it as well? Will that excite you to a certain extent? Because right now, of course, what you talked about is just a small ecosystem, which is you and your
Correct,
friends, because it's invite only.
Right. So then we'll have to talk about the audiences that are interested in Instagram. So I also said that I'm a person who watches Instagram for the real stuff. Right?
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
people coming in and sharing real stories. So even if I may feel interested in the beginning towards something like a Sora app, eventually it may die off in me. Okay, I may feel like, okay, once in a while, maybe twice in a week, I would go in there, let me create this because I have this thought in my head.
But it won't be like a...
No, it's not going to replace Instagram or anything like that for me, at least in the first phase. That's what I think.
Let's see if we can change Kailash's mind with the second claim. We are still consistent with our understanding of changing Kailash's mind. The TikTok style app. What do you feel about that? Which replacing social media, which you just mentioned. There's the fact that OpenAI is actually launching a vertical scroll app like TikTok or Instagram Reels, which you just talked about. But every video is AI generated, remixable, shareable, viral. The reality check is the feed is real, but invite only. Do you think that is a big stumbling block since it's only right now in the US and Canada? And the fact that it prioritizes videos that inspire creation. Maybe that could be a corridor, Kailash, which could excite people.
I cannot call it a gimmick. Why? Because right now, when doom scrolling is happening in all the social media platforms, you're going on consuming content without any objective. You don't know what you're going to watch next. You don't even.
Yeah, you walk out like a zombie, right?
So maybe this could change the way you interact with social media. But no, I don't think it's going to replace social media. It is another social media which you're engaging with or interacting with in a completely different way than you've
Yeah,
ever done before.
I see your point. The fact that it's a huge challenge as far as Instagram or TikTok or other platforms are concerned.
And we also spoke about the kind of release it's going to do. It's going to be a staggered release. So I'm not sure how these many people are going to see. Okay, this is going to be a different experience for me in terms of engagement or interactivity. However, okay, let's just take the audience of Instagram, 3 billion, close to 3 billion people. How much time do we have to wait for OpenAI to release this to reach 3 billion people? I'm not sure. They've even said that okay, compute versus your demand. Okay, if it goes overboard, we'll have to keep charging you for more creations. So I'm not even sure whether it's their model of
correct.
I don't know. Look, okay, you seem interested now. Hey, pay $5 more. You can create 10 more videos.
Correct.
Okay, why?
Would you want to?
Why?
Is the
You
question.
can create real content
Is
for
the
free.
is the point that you're asking? Fair enough, and that's a very valid one. Okay, but tell me this, Kailash, you being such a wonderful, magical, creative mind. So when you see something like this, right, a platform which is being built purely for AI generated reels, videos, etc., which is the TikTok style scrolling methodology and understanding, what is your immediate reaction? Would you get drawn to it
Of course,
purely because there is a creative energy
I would.
there? There is an
Because
excitement.
I'm a person who has been following AI, at least generative AI, because it's directly linked to my career and field that I'm in.
But अगर दूसरे लोग हों तो maybe a doctor, maybe a lawyer, would they want to maybe break the mold and say that
I'll
no?
tell you an example. I have doctors in my family, right? So they, for example, there is a section who really goes and reads about what technological advancements our country is making or what is happening around the world.
Fair.
There is another group which feels that okay, I'm too busy or maybe I don't have time. But if somebody tells me something that is interesting, I may look upon it, right? So I've spoken with both. And the interesting thing is, both of them are really, really interested in this. Why? Because it's too easy to kind of see what it can do. Like, I'm giving it a selfie of mine. It can give me something which I've never even imagined before, or I can't even imagine a photographer dressing me up like that and getting a photo of me like that clicked.
Spill this secret. What did you do?
I mean, what did I do?
No, the selfie. What did you?
Bro, that's been getting done since a long time. I mean, I obviously take a picture of them and work on it through AI, give them another picture, and they'll be like, "What?"
It is the most weirdly embarrassing one that you've ever done.
Oh,
Come on now.
no. Another time.
Yari. Okay, so you're saying a community in terms of your own family, this is very close. But yeah, how many people like that are actually going to be there? They're genuinely curious kinds. Very few, maybe. Because let's face it, they've got an Instagram, they've got a TikTok.
Correct.
My question being,
Correct.
how do you pull them towards this? Is my thought.
So I'm not aware of what is that segregation of audience with differing mindsets. Okay, as to what they are looking at to get from a social media platform like Instagram or a TikTok. But when you look at both the platforms like Sora app, the objective is completely different. One is heavy on consumption.
Agreed.
One is heavy on taking action, creating.
Sure.
Right? Okay, sure. Instagram, TikTok also asks you to create.
Correct.
But the sheer curiosity factor of a platform like Sora would probably be a little more intriguing than when you compare it with create reels with filters. I don't know, auto edit. You just feed in your pictures and videos, and Instagram will automatically figure out a track, edit it based on or cut it based on the music track or whatever, and create a video out of it or a reel out of it.
Sure.
That is not the kind of audience that you're looking. I mean, the audience will feel different when they when they see a platform like Sora.
Because these are worlds that are being created.
Yes. That curiosity is what I think OpenAI is really, really banking on.
Okay. But that's still open-ended, right, Kailash?
Yes.
How much does it exist? That kind of curiosity. That was the question.
That's open-ended. That is open-ended.
That is open-ended. The next one, of course, is this one, Kailash. Safe, which is very important, controlled, and the consent-driven aspect. The hype is this, that OpenAI says your likeness is protected. Okay. No one can drop you into a video without your permission. Well, all videos carry watermarks, which is a good thing. Teens are shielded. The reality check is this. Consent is built in, one-time video, audio verification, revoke anytime. Safety layers are there, the watermarking, visible plus metadata, etc. Filters against violence, adult content, and political deepfakes. What is now your thought and takeaway, and how would you like to debunk this?
At the end of it, from the moment Google's launched Android, right? So whenever me and a few friends sit and talk about something, and then you instantly open Google, in your search bar you can see something that you just spoke about.
Correct.
And we always used to, bro, is it recording? Is it on?
Is it listening?
Is it,
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell, right? So in fact, I think this is all part of a legal end user agreement.
Okay.
Right? So, okay, they as a big company, they have to take all the measures and keep all the measures in place to ensure the safety, your privacy, everything intact.
Sure.
But do you think in 2025 a watermark is going to save a video? No. There
Valid
are 10,000
point.
platforms that can remove a watermark.
That was Kailash's uppercut to the jaw.
Matlab, don't, I mean, of course you can say that as part of your agreement. Okay, you're secure, your everything is private. See, the couple of things that I really appreciate about Sora or OpenAI doing this are two things. One is you just can't upload a selfie and expect Sora to build a video.
Fair.
Right? You have to be you have to do a liveness check. So for example, it could even be random. For you, it may ask, "Hey, rotate your leg.
Rotate my head.
Sorry, turn your head towards the left."
I thought you were doing a weird version of The Exorcist with me or something.
I'm sorry. Turn your head to the left and then say the word any random.
What if I did? You would have. Sorry.
To me, it may ask something else.
Fair enough.
So that it's not even somebody feeding a video of a pre-recorded, like a person or whatever. It needs to be live.
Fair.
So it will check the authenticity that, okay, you are the one who's uploading your identity or your video, your picture, whatever. That step is nice.
Okay.
That step is decent. Okay, at least it ensures some
sense of authenticity or whatever.
But after that, once you make a video, okay, you've invited your friends, you are inviting another friend to be in your video as a cameo, you're using the cameo feature of Sora 2. Suddenly, after 2 days, you feel that, okay, I don't want to be in this video anymore. I don't want this video to exist. Delete.
Point.
Sure, the video gets deleted from Sora, but can you ensure that the video has not been downloaded
somewhere else,
uploaded, shared somewhere else? No.
Point. Very valid point. So well, that's a learning which I guess they will be needing to figure out in terms of guardrails moving forward.
Even if they have an option to download, I don't think the guardrails will work. Because it's out of Sora's system anyway. It's out in the wild. Anybody can do anything to it now. Sora is not responsible as well. Maybe it's created with Sora, but it's not, okay, deleted. We've deleted it from Sora servers or OpenAI.
Everything is done.
Everything is gone. You can't trace it back, but the video is out there in the wild.
It can be manipulated.
Not our responsibility.
In any
that
which
got
way.
Leaked.
Okay. Kailash is definitely in a good mood. Claim number 4. Everyone will be actually a creator. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
So the hype is this. OpenAI positions this as the democratization of creativity. Do you agree?
I agree.
Before I move on.
I agree with that.
Okay, fair enough. No camera, no editing, just type and generate, which is what the method is. The reality check is this. True. Barriers are collapsing. A 15-year-old can now produce music synced cinematic AI videos without touching Adobe. But here's the other part. The barrier to flooding feeds with junk is also gone. Fair? So expect noise, memes, propaganda and synthetic clutter on a scale we have never seen before. What TikTok and Instagram did for short-term videos, Sora could do for synthetic reality. Your takeaway as far as this point is concerned?
You're right on that. One thing that they said right is, okay, we are democratizing the creative industry or creativity of people. Sure. Now what you're going to see is maybe a person who's not creative, who just wants to experiment with his ramblings in the mind, may come and just create something which I would never want to see for more than 2 seconds.
Sure.
And at least Instagram figures out an algorithm where, okay, I see content which is at least more likable by me.
Got it.
So if
Sora, and then accordingly it'll tailor make it for you. And the
Sora app would also eventually have that.
Which I'm sure, yeah.
Which I'm sure. But considering what audience, you have 50,000 audience, you have 100,000 audience, how much of content? See, second thing is, I want to tie it back to the copyright thing that I'm saying before. So I'm not sure whether you know, Disney has already opted out of Sora's testing.
Right.
So now, if other companies don't or actively opt out, Sora can obviously use their models to make. So I'm going in, I'm saying, let me create a scene of Star Wars with me in it. I'm a Jedi with holding the lightsaber and fighting.
May the force forever be with you. And today it is very strong in you.
So I'm not sure whether it's ethically right. It's not.
It isn't.
It is.
It isn't.
But is it interesting content to watch? Sure.
Sure.
But there are people who would watch it with double-minded, right? I mean,
Ah.
okay, I like it, but no, I shouldn't be promoting this because
Fair enough.
It's not right.
But there are not too many people who have that sense of maybe integrity or that sense of maybe.
No, I'm talking about the audience who has the creativity as well.
Fair enough.
And I'm talking about, I mean, earlier we talked about the audience, okay, who may not, or like a 15-year-old, like a 10-year-old, who may not be that creative, or
Correct.
who just want to
Experiment,
whatever.
yeah.
Don't want to probably be in that bucket of, okay, unwanted content just
Sure.
flashing into my feed.
Sure.
So not really, no. I mean, I wouldn't want that democratization to be there.
Okay.
Also, from their video, I remember that they've said for young people below 18,
Right.
they would have a stop to the feed by, okay, you are endlessly scrolling. No, you can't endlessly scroll. They will actually
So they put a filter there.
They put a break to it.
Okay.
Break to it, saying that, hey, take a break.
बहुत हो गया. हाँ.
Take a break.
घर जाके पढ़ाई करो.
Or you, I don't know, you start experimenting with some creation.
Okay. So that's a very good thing.
Good.
Right. At least it's not mind numbing.
Mind numbing. So I hope they take a little better, I mean, steps like these, maybe nuanced steps like these to kind of ensure, okay, one thing is you give out the freedom to everyone to kind of experiment and explore. Secondly, you also put a filter to it where, okay, not everything is fun.
Okay.
Right? Because when you said about political thing or
deepfakes
and all that, of course, they've evidently said that they've put barriers in place to stop all this. They've put their code in place to sense, misinformation, all that. But I'm sure a good prompter, a good person who knows how to hustle with this platform can
find loopholes and manipulate it. Okay. Before we go into the entire summary aspect of things and your final take on it, etc., I want to ask you this. So, our head of research and content, who levitates at times, he's quite brilliant, Amit, right? So Amit made a point which I thought was very interesting. He said that, okay, Sora 2, he was very excited about it. He said that, okay, what if he creates something, he invites 7 people, and I'm hoping that you and I are part of it. You never know. Do you think he'll invite us? Anyway, that's another conversation. So, yeah. But the point is, he invites, let's say, 7 people. Now, he says, all right, I've made this 10-second clip or 5-second clip. Now, you get excited as a cameo, you come in. And so where this conversation was going with Amit was, Amit ended up saying that this could actually become maybe a full-fledged, let's say, a short film. And those aspects or avenues, I thought, were quite interesting in terms of, let's say, for film students. Let's say, you come from a very rich background as far as education in terms of N&A is concerned, as far as design is concerned. So would you think that those things actually open up the different vistas of the mind?
Different vistas of the mind, yes. How to achieve those vistas? Really, really, truly? No. I would say no.
Okay.
You can see that, okay, oh wow, like I like probably the teal and orange color tone of this whole frame. I like the camera angle. I like the lighting of it. I like the, I don't know, whatever, costume, outfit, anything. How will I reproduce it in a natural scenario? Which camera should I use?
Sure.
What lens should I use?
Nice.
What lighting should I use?
So the nuances.
The nuances. These are all technical nuances which a person should know if they want to really create it. Okay, AI is making the job 1000x simpler. That's just for you to get a little inspired. I hope everyone finds inspiration in this.
Okay.
And then figure out how to do things yourself.
Fair enough. So, well, Kailash, that is your takeaway, final takeaway, or would you like to add something to that and tell the audience? Of course, our producer has something which he wants to ask you, which is, do you believe that bullying will increase with this app coming in terms of the feed? Will bullying?
For that, I need to know what is the stat of bullying right now. Anybody, anywhere can do bullying if they're bad, if they're a bad cat.
But this could go to any extent.
Even without it, it can go to any extent.
Okay.
Like create a fake ID.
Yeah.
I don't know, like mask your IP address, bully anyone, cyberbullying, whatever.
Fair.
That's happening. That was happening even before.
Correct.
AI has probably softened the pad. I shouldn't be saying that. It has probably eased the whole scene where, okay, at least it's not too direct.
Okay.
It is masked in the fun aspect. Okay,
Yeah.
it's fun, bro. I mean, why can't you take a joke? Okay,
Your stance on cyberbullying?
I'm against it. I mean,
So am I.
any kind of bullying,
Any kind, yeah.
cyberbullying, real bullying, whatever.
Yeah.
It's
No, it's
it has
just
to
it's
it has
just
to go.
not cool.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Fair enough. Your final take.
While I've crucified Sora to a lot, I would
Not at all. We never got that impression. What happened?
okay, then Sora 2, I'm gonna definitely give it a chance when it comes out. It gets, if I mean, as soon as it gets released in India, I am definitely going to give it a chance.
For sure.
I'm sure it's gonna be like miles ahead of Sora 1, but I definitely want to see how my interest will lean towards an app which is going to give me something new that like they've promised. Okay, Cameo, your more interactive.
Do
Sort
you
of social
see
media.
it changing the entire temperament as far as social media is concerned?
I hope it does, because even in my circle, I've seen people who compare their lives to picture perfect lives of other people in Instagram. So, okay, if you can achieve
It's all
some
a
sort of
lie.
happiness,
It's all a lie, I have to say.
if you can achieve, if maybe people are different, if you can achieve a certain level of happiness by creating a fictional world yourself and you being in it, so be it.
Sure.
Nothing is stopping you, right? It's your world. So be it.
Fair enough. Well, that was, of course, Kailash, our creative design head, as honest and as brutal and as brilliant as ever. Of course, this is our final takeaway. And Kailash, this is what we feel. And on Debunked, which is, it actually sounds exciting, but is also terrifying, as we have both discussed it. Because what actually happens when the boundary between real life and generated life blurs, and most people prefer the latter.
I think I already addressed
You
this, right?
did.
I mean,
You
so
did.
when I said that, okay, people are comparing their lives to the ones, picture perfect ones in
So be
Instagram.
it.
So be it. If you get a chance to be in a scene or be in a life where you are at least virtually, be it, man. So enjoy it if that's what you like. Nobody's stopping you.
Well, that's basically it. OpenAI Sora 2 is definitely the most ambitious consumer AI product since ChatGPT, part Instagram, part Hollywood studio, part mirror of your imagination. But please don't be fooled by the polished demos. The tech still breaks under pressure. The social app could still devolve into another attention black hole, and the ethics of identity, consent, and copyright, as Kailash mentioned, are just beginning. The age of doom scrolling is ending. The age of doom imagining, well, hopefully, we are hoping, has begun. Let us go ahead and know what you think in the comments below. But finally, Kailash, I believe, are we ready to Sora or maybe not?
No. Let's try Sora. I hope it doesn't put us down too fast.
Fair
That's
enough.
that's all.
That, of course, was Kailash. And we're going to be back with Kailash with lots more on Debunked, as we are going to be going ahead and constantly doing what Kailash has taught us, which is to think AI.
Think AIM.
Very good.